I've always thought it was odd that the planets and the galaxies seem to mimic the movement of subatomic particles. And I can't help but wonder if it's some sort of Russian nesting doll situation, but with universes. Like our planet, our galaxy, our universe, everything we can observe is inside of a quark, which is inside of a proton, making up the nuclei of an unfathomably extensive atom. And as far as our current technology is concerned, we would never be able to know because we would only be able to photograph something that would be microscopic to them but gigantic to us. I mean, it makes sense to me because quarks have electric charges. And what makes up our consciousness but electrical impulses throughout our brain? And with the law of conservation of energy, we know that energy cannot be destroyed. So whether our consciousness is a byproduct of or a storage system for the quark, the most logical thing that would happen after death is reincarnation, because that energy has to go somewhere. But let's take it a step further. If you've learned anything about the basics of a proton, you know there's at least 3 quarks in it. What they don't emphasize often enough is that at least part. Because yes, of course there has to be 3, but usually there's countless numbers of quarks, antiquarks, and gluons, all just bouncing around and colliding with one another. And in the history of our existence, there's a chance we came close to colliding with some of those. Now, assuming that these other quarks have biological beings similar to us, or if evolution allowed, almost identical, and we came close enough to colliding them with a gluon in between us, there could have been a transference of energy. And since our memories are encoded and stored in our brain from electricity and chemicals in our brain, any slight transference of energy could mess with our memories, because maybe in the anti-quark, Nelson Mandela did die in the 80s. Now, assuming that time moves differently for us than any being we're a part of, our entire lifespan could just be a blink of an eye for them. And since they're clearly an older civilization than us, they would actually have better technology, right? Maybe they know we exist. Maybe they've already sent their version of nanotechnology down to interact with us. So 10 minutes ago for them, or thousands of years ago from us, they sent this nanotechnology down to talk to us, try and help explain the universe. But what technology did we have thousands of years ago? Not much. So even if they managed to bridge the gap in communication and languages, then they still would have had trouble explaining it to us because we didn't have words for the type of technology that they had. So we would have perceived any message from something like that as ethereal and not mechanical. Of course, any message from the ethereal is going to become highly politicized, leading to a lot of miscommunication and mistranslation down the line. So all this time, we've attributed those strange spinning wheels with eyeballs and all those other strange entities to ethereal beings, when in actuality, a gigantic scientist named God just injected himself with nanotechnology a few minutes ago and is currently waiting on us to answer. And who knows, maybe the Big Bang was real. It was just a much bigger bang than we anticipated. And we wouldn't be able to see evidence of it from our plane of existence. But with time working differently at each and every level, kind of like Inception, there's a very good chance that the Big Bang is actually happening right now. So if everything is happening all at once, time is meaningless, your perception is your reality, and if my brain were an egg, it'd be an omelet.